It's February, it's warm, it's Clearwater, Florida, and it must be Phillies spring training baseball. There you see Ryan Howard. He's here, he's at Bright House Field, prepping, getting ready, trying to get back on the team, and so it begins. Welcome to lunch break, along with Jim Salisbury. I'm John Gonzalez, and there you go. There's one of the big stories of the year, standing right over our shoulder, Ryan Howard. How soon do you expect that he could be back? They said, what, like they're targeting mid-May, but you had a story saying you don't think they're going to rush him, right?
Oh, they're definitely not going to rush him. There's no reason to rush him. It's the start of what you hope will be a 7-month season. It's the start of a 5-year contract extension. And you don't want to risk a setback. That's an area, that Achilles is an area he puts a lot of pressure on when he swings. So, he has to be 100% when they turn him loose. But Charlie Manuel said yesterday on the first day of camp that he's a little bit ahead of schedule. It's good to see him on his feet. He's throwing. He's doing a little swinging. He's going to hit off a tee here pretty soon, and he's smiling. And May 1st is still that loose target date, but no guarantees. Could be the middle of May. Depends on how things go down here in April as he continues his rehab.
Now, you've monitored this process throughout. I mean, when he went down in Game 5 of the NLDS, I mean, it looked like it would be a lot longer than May before he returned. So you've been paying attention to this throughout. How does that affect generally with the Achilles, like the lateral movement? I mean, if you're a first baseman, you're not having to make as much movement as maybe some of the other positions. But how do you think that might affect him moving forward?
I just think, we're going to find out. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. People who have had Achilles injuries have come back. A lot of folks say you're not the same guy. Maybe he's going to lose some mobility. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's going to lose a little power, but we don't know. I think Ryan Howard, could lose a little power and still hit 40-plus home runs. He's that powerful of a man, that big of an offensive threat. So a lot of this is still an unknown that we're going to find out here in the coming weeks.
We talked to another guy who's a power hitter and also somewhat of an unknown earlier on today, Jim Thome, and he had said, look, I'm 41 years old. During the off season, I did a lot of he was doing stretching and Pilates and all this stuff, and he was showing us how he contorts his body now in order to remain flexible. But he was also pretty honest about it. He said, look, I'd love to be out there 3, 4, 5 times a week. I just don't know if my body can handle it. So realistically, with Ryan Howard out, how much do you think Jim Thome can help fill in?
Again, we're going to find out. As I sit here right now, I don't think he's going to be a big player at first base. I think we have to remember he left here after the 2005 season, and since then has only played 28 innings at first base, including 0 the last 4 years. So he's really not a first baseman anymore. He's he's a designated hitter who's come to the National League to be a bench guy, to be a late game pinch hitter, hopefully hit this team a few bombs, lend a great clubhouse presence, bring an incredible will to win. He still wants that ring, but he's a proud guy. He's out here taking ground balls, and he could be a fill-in, but again, he's had a bad back and he hasn't done it. This is a pitching-based team. You want to put good defense behind him. I think Ty Wigington, John Mayberry will get a look over there. But I still think if Jim can get to the situation where he can give this team, a handful of innings here and there at first base, it's going to help him in the long run because the more at-bats he gets, the better pinch hitter he's going to be. And I also think, I wouldn't be surprised if it looks like he can handle the position, here and there, give him some innings. It wouldn't surprise me if he starts that home opener on the 9th of April because everybody's excited.
The fan favorite.
Oh, my God.
The crowd would go crazy for that.
Just for that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be neat?
Yeah, it would be. It would be an interesting story to see him come back on opening day. You also mentioned pitching-based team, one of the guys that is an integral part of the team, no doubt about it. Cole Hamels, he's going to speak a little later on today. It's a big day here in Clearwater. So the question is, he's 28 years old. He signed a 1-year deal, $15 million, avoided arbitration. But the ceiling for Cole Hamels, the starting price for Cole Hamels is going to be a lot higher than $15 million. So where does it start, and how realistic is it, do you think, that they will lock him up before he hits that free agency period?
Well, where does it start? It definitely, I would say, starts more than that $17 million that Jared Weaver of the Angels got, because Hamels' agent is on record as saying that he doesn't consider the Weaver deal a comparable. So obviously, the agent says Cole is an elite pitcher, and I tend to agree with him. And elite pitchers these days, elite left-handers, are paid something that begins with a 20 in terms of average annual value. So I'm sure that's what they're going to be seeking, a multi-year deal, 4 or 5 years, in that $20 million range.
He wants the Jim Salisbury money.
He wants the Gonzo money.
He wants that Jim Salisbury money.
He wants the Halliday money and the Cliff Lee money. And, I still think there's a chance they're going to lock him up sometime before the season. I think before the season ends, I should say. And I think there's a lot of reasons where he would want that because, hey, that's a lot of security if you can get it, and it's a lot of risk every time you take the mound. Pitching's a fragile, the pitching armor is fragile, so you never know. So, but I know they're going to keep talking, and he's going to talk about it today, and we're going to find out if this is the place he wants to be long term. I think it is.
All right, so we'll have full coverage of what Cole Hamels says later on today from Clearwater, not just on CSNPhilly.com, but on Comcast Sportsnet as well. Jimmy, you want to take us out?
Yeah, I can't see because the sun is right in my eyes, but I hope you enjoyed it. So
we really have to deal with tough stuff here. We're going to be down here all week long, lunch break from Clearwater this week. For Jim Salisbury, I'm John Gonzalez. Thanks, guys.